Guys, the total objective is what? See, here is what the objective is all about. Today we are bound to learn input tax credit and RCM implication. Composition scheme supplier I have already touched you. And any doubts on exemption and chapter 2, I will be touching in that as well. So please unmute yourself and ask your doubts. That's what the most advisable thing you can do for. And yes, we will start with very important concept of block credit and conditions for availing input tax credit. A very short and important question from the examination perspective. So let's quickly get into this area. We have covered already all those aspects. So straight away I'm getting into day 3 discussion. Here we go, my dear. Straight away we'll start. Welcome to the chapter called Input Tax Credit. My dear brothers and sisters, at the inter level, please focus only on the first 5 items which has been highlighted for you. Don't even think about the proportionate reversal, special cases and ISD. You're not going to be bothered, you're not going to be tested. Keep yourself relaxed. Sir, are you ICA to say this particular term? I'm not ICA, my dear, but I can tell you after seeing a 8 set of question papers, I can tell you whether it is relevant or not. Okay, these 3 concepts of proportionate reversal, special cases and ISD, these are all relevant at the final level, my dear, and not the inter level. So relax, keep it away, just focus on whatever has been going to deliver for you guys. To start up with input tax credit, my dear brothers and sisters, this particular term input tax credit has been carefully, it has to be carefully built on overall aspects of definitions first. First, let me give you what is input tax credit in overall perspective. We all say input tax credit means tax paid on purchase, right? This is what we would have said time and again. But no, my dear, tax paid on purchase alone cannot be called as input tax credit. In fact, I have to rephrase: tax paid on not purchase, tax paid on inward supply, right? Let's rephrase this: allowed to be adjusted, allowed to be adjusted against what? Against liability on outward supply. But this is what ITC is all about. There must be a collective application on all these 3 cases. Only when all the 3 cases are satisfied, you can think about input tax credit. So every jargon we have to carefully analyze, we have to decode. Let's go ahead. My dear, I'm not getting technical, I'm not giving you the exact section, I'm just giving you the conceptual learning so that you can easily get into the subject and you can straight away travel to something called block credit. This is what the whole objective is there. My dear brothers and sisters, the whole objective is to complete the revision of this quick term called ITC at the earliest point of time. So what do you mean by tax? Tax means only GST, my dears. It means only GST, because other than GST we will obviously add it to the cost. You have learned in section 15 subsection 2 clause A, we have just recollected any tax collected, recovered, received, reimbursed from the buyer other than the GST, we will add it to the value, isn't it? So that means law itself says added to the cost. So my dear brothers and sisters, what are all the only GSTs we have? We have CGST, we have SGST, we have IGST, and we have compensation cess. These are all the only taxes, and these taxes has to be paid on inward supply. My dear, inward supply can be widely categorized into inputs, capital goods, and input services. Sir, better categorization will help. Oh, better categorization help. Okay, my dear, I will do it this way. Focus this way. I would say inward supply can be of goods or it can be of services. Goods are categorized into 2, inputs and capital goods, whereas input services means any services received. We will call it as input services. So let's quickly go ahead to understand what is capital goods. My dear, capital goods are basically goods. Those are basically goods, and please remember which are capitalized. which are capitalized in the books of accounts. Which are capitalized in the books of accounts of the person, basically a registered person. And what is mean by inputs? Again, my dear, input means any goods other than capital goods. So goods minus capital goods, I can say that's what called as inputs. So inputs is a balancing figure definition. You need not break your head. Unlike the resto era, old era, where they defined inputs as raw materials, spares, accessories, and all those stuffs. It is not defining. It says simpliciter. Capital goods, you all know accounting standard 10 will apply plant property equipment. Accordingly, you please classify when capital is first capital goods. Apart from that, what we will do is we will get to have this. So that's why law says it's the balancing figure definition. And input services, it means any services. It means any services and services itself by default means it should be other than goods, securities and money, right? So this inward supply, sir, it is a tax paid on inward supply by whom? By only registered person. By only a registered person. That means, sir, unregistered person procuring or paying a tax, or it will be outside equation, it will not be brought into the system. Only a registered person. Okay, great. And for what purpose he has to use? Please understand, a registered person procuring. Every person is a consumer. Even this fellow can also, presume. But what is his intention? What is his capacity? His capacity is a very, very unique learning. You should have it back of mind. The capacity is businessman. Businessman, sir, basically businessman, what he does, he purchases and then later on he sells, and he purchases with what intention? With an intention to make profit. Is it not, my dear? So how he is arriving the selling price is purchase price plus profit, isn't it, my dear? Everybody are able to appreciate how this works. So what is the capacity? See, we are talking about a recipient, purchase, inward supply. So capacity is recipient being a businessman whose intention is to purchase and later on sell. Whereas purchase, we call it as inward supply, and sale, we will call it as a outward supply, technically speaking. So what we say, my dear brothers and sisters, very simple. Someone who is making the inward supply with an intention to make profit and later on sells it, makes an outward supply for the profit, and he is fulfilling his objectives. This is what the whole aspects is. Sir, this outward supply should be of what category, sir? This outward supply may be exempt, or it may be taxable, or I would say other than exempt. Exempt, other than exempt. Other than exempt is a bigger category, but it covers taxable, zero rated supply, basically to speak with. So my dear brothers and sisters, let's understand, if something is exempt, what is exempt? 0% or nil or non-taxable, all these things. My dear brothers and sisters, tell me, when a particular outward supply is nil, non-taxable or 0%, is there any outward liability? I want the floor participation. I want you guys to respond. My dear brothers and sisters, be lit up. Come on, respond.
Not what liability.
No liability here, right? So is there any liability when I ask? When the answer is big answer is no. My dear, please understand, where is the question of cascading? When there is, what is cascading? Let's go back to the first chapter and reiterate the objective. What is the whole objective of GST? To avoid cascading. Correct, my dear? The whole objective of GST is to avoid cascading, correct? Double taxation. Very good. What is double taxation? Tax paid on stage 1 suffers the tax payable on stage 2. Correct, my dear? So, what happens here? When there is no tax on stage 2, do you think there is a cascading exist? That means in this scenario, please appreciate there is no cascading. In this scenario, please understand there is no cascading. My dear brothers and sisters, when there is no cascading, please appreciate no need for ITC. Meaning thereby, sir, if any outward supply results on exempt supply, then there is no ITC eligibility. No need for ITC to be given over here. And for this particular person, ITC will not be given. Sir, what type of outward supply only ITC will be given, sir? Only an outward supply which results in other than exempt or zero rated supply. Sir, zero rated supply we will not make any tax, no sir, correct pa? But what is the objective of zero rated supply? Zero rated supplies are basically exports or SEZ or supply to SEZ units, sir. Okay, basically these are the transactions which basically bring in what forex into the country. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, please appreciate, these are very important. These are very important for the purpose of bringing forex. Therefore, we are giving them the eligibility. So now when consolidate, you can appreciate with all this basic informations, you can consolidate tax paid on inward supply, which is being input services or capital goods, allowed to be adjusted. I have not touched this particular silver line. I'm going to come back to that line. Liability on outward supply. So we have understood tax paid on inward supply. We have understood the tax paid on outward supply, liability on outward supply. And now, my dear, we have concluded our discussion, or we have concluded our discussion on. We are going to conclude our discussion on first 2 points. Now I am going to touch something called allowed to be adjusted. Sir, what do you mean by allowed to be adjusted, sir? Sir, look at the iterations one has to come, sir. Simply, I cannot say tax paid. This tax paid has to satisfy the above criteria. That means to say, it is on inward supply, being inputs or capital goods or import services. It has to be paid by a registered person and it must be used in the business furtherance. And that should result in output tax liability. All these conditions are there. All these conditions are satisfied now. I can call it as input. Tax. So when this will go to input tax credit? From input tax to input tax credit, point number 1, it should not be blocked. If it is blocked, there ends the discussion here. There is no furtherance, there ends the discussion. And point number 2, it must be permitted. Permitted in the sense, sir, when it will be permitted, all conditions, look at the plural I am using, all conditions are to be satisfied. Sir, when these 2 criteria are satisfied, what you will call it as? I will call it as input tax credit. And even after that, I have to imply, sir, shall I straight away use the input tax credit to the greatest extent possible, sir? No, now the asset has come. This input tax credit means creation of an asset. Right? This creation of an asset should not suffer any restrictions. So, there might be some restriction placed. What are all the restrictions? We have to check for the restriction in such manner that point number 1, it is not restricted. So, it should not be restricted. It should not be restricted under rule 86A or 86B. We will have to discuss those. And my dear brothers and sisters, these are restriction on utility. And only if it is not there, you can use the ITC. ITC can be utilized. Okay, sir. Then also there are restrictions. Sir, how to utilize, sir? You have said utilize. How to utilize, sir? This is again you would have covered in chapter number 1 in the name called manner of utilizing input tax credit or seamless flow of credit. That is to say, first asset to be exhausted is IGST, second is CGST, and third is SGST. So you would have learned the order wherein my dear, we understand IGST has to be first utilized only for IGST. Excess, if any, what I'm supposed to do, my dear? Excess of IGST asset. How I can utilize? How I can utilize excess of IGST asset? Yeah, can be utilized to CGST and SGST in any order. Say it can be 40-60, it can be 60-40, it can be equal, it can be 0 and 90 and 100, it can be 1% 99, it can be 99% 1%. I can adjust in any order with an objective. What is the objective when I decide any order, sir? Minimum cash outflow. With this objective, I will adjust in any order. Same way, sir, CGST asset, all these things are assets created, okay? CGST asset, first I will adjust for what, sir? CGST asset will be first utilized for CGST liability. Over and above the CGST liability, if anything is there, if at all IGST is there, I will be using IGST. But my dear brothers and sisters, please understand, you are allowed to CGST and SGST. First, there is a condition for utilizing this. What is that, sir? See, you can come and utilize the CGST liability only after IGST asset, only after IGST asset becomes exhausted, or I can say becomes zero. Only when the IGST becomes zero, then you can start using the CGST asset. CGST asset can be first utilized against IGST, and after completing the IGST, excess of CGST asset, my dear brothers and sisters, can be used for excess of can be used for adjusting against IGST liability. And sir, excess over and above that, what will happen, sir? Excess over and above that is excess is carry forward. Guys, are you all with me?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, my dear, we have to have a clarity here. Then what, sir? See, I can use the first one. I can use this SGST also. After becoming IGST 0 only, I can use it. But this time there's a slight change. Yeah, this time there is a slight change in the order. First, I have to use the SGST for only SGST liability. Excess of SGST liability, I can adjust against IGST liability with the condition only if I can use this, only if IGST asset has become, only if IGST asset and CGST asset has become 0. Only when both the assets have become 0, I can adjust. If not, excess can be carried forward. So this is the restriction they are placing. And my dear, this is something which you have come across in a very very important real time manner. How to utilize all these things are the very important utilization. In between, in the creation of the asset itself, there is one thing, exceptional creation, which you have to have back of mind, which is RCM. RCM is a liability on inward supply. Everybody, my dear, are you all with me? It is a liability on inward supply, which is mean that it's a liability on purchases, right? So inward supply, how I can take credits? You have to discharge this. You have to discharge this liability by paying cash. So only by cash you have to discharge, and after making payment, you can claim ITC. This is an important standalone learning which you have to remember when it comes to reverse charge mechanism. Only on payment basis you can avail the credit. Only on payment basis can avail the credit. Guys, these are the flow in which you have to understand the ITC chapter, and this is what the complete overview of ITC chapter, starting with simple tax paid, validating whether it is input services or capital goods when it is used for the business purpose by a registered person, used in the course of business furtherance, be unused for the purpose of taxable other than exempt supply, then we call it as input tax. And after that we need to check whether it is not blocked. If it is blocked, there ends the matter, and we have to check whether all the conditions are satisfied. Sir, any one condition violated, there gone the matter. And after that only we can call it as creation of an asset. And while creating asset, these are all inward supplies on which FCM basis and RCM basis also there. RCM basis I can create the asset only upon payment of tax. Only upon payment of tax I can create the asset. And such asset created should not be restricted for its utility purpose. So I have to check for rule 86 and 86b, and after that I have to utilize order of utilization. How to utilize this has been clearly spelled by the law under rule 88. Under rule 88 a, they have very clearly said how to utilize, and that is a very important order we have discussed. And that will be the end of this beautiful discussion called input tax today. Now we have to go back and specialize in this two area, and this one particular area in specific. Sir, why you want to call it as in specific? Very simple, my dear. Order of utilization of input tax credit you would have already been well versed with, so I need not say. And how to avail the ITC when it comes to RCM, again I have highlighted the clarity. But what we require more clarity is a blocked credit and conditions permitting the ITC thereon. So let's go ahead and check out ourselves on the block credit and see how comfortable we guys are and how we can take things one step ahead at each and every stage. Right, my dear? Here we go. Discussions is very important, my dear. This is what the definitions will everywhere. Definitions everywhere will take us only through. Straight away getting into the blocked credit. Look at section 17.5, my dear. Traveling with me at the pace is very important. You already have the materials with you. So optimize the utilization. Just to keep it connected. Just to keep it connected and proceed with the way you want, my dear. Okay. And very important, don't look into the chart unless I say. Just focus on the content and then proceed with. See how I have drafted this 9 points of ITC is all about. Look at this. ITC shall not be allowed. That means, see, we can just understand this way. ITC blocked, the moment I use the word blocked, the moment I say the word, you understand it's a negative list. But what is the beauty? This is not only carrying the negative list, but it is also going to give me the positive list. Meaning thereby, blocked credit is a combination of what is not eligible and exception to what is not eligible. My dear brothers and sisters, tell me, exception to what is not eligible, when I say that becomes what? Eligible. Is it not, my dear? Everybody. Exception to ineligible means it's eligible, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Therefore, it is going to consist both. So therefore, we have to be upfront, very clear on how it is going to happen. And this is why it is actually becoming very interesting learning. This is where examination question will be for you guys. Look at this, my dear. ITC shall not be allowed in respect of motor vehicle for transportation of a person having approved seating capacity not more than 13% except when they are used for the following purpose. Let us decode this. ITC shall not be available in respect of motor vehicles for transportation of persons. That means, my dear, restriction is only for motor vehicles for transportation of persons. Is there any restriction for transportation of goods? That means I can buy the lorry, I can buy the truck, any vehicle used for transportation of goods. There is no restriction. It is eligible. There is no restrictions, guys. Am I loud and clear? Why it is eligible?
Yes,
because it is not discussed in blocked. Because it is not discussed in blocked, the motor vehicle designed for transportation of goods, whether inside the factory or outside the factory or anywhere, motor vehicle designed for transportation of goods is eligible. It is not blocked. Why it is eligible? Because it is not blocked. That is why it is eligible. 17.5 is very specific. I cannot bring in everything into 17.5. Whatever the 9 points discussed, we can discuss only that. Okay, sir. Transportation. All transportation of person, vehicle blocked, sir? No. Having approved seating capacity not more than 13. That means 13 or less than 13 seating capacity vehicle only blocked. If I have a transportation of person vehicle which is having the seating capacity, then 14 or more. 14 or more. Tell me, my dear, whether it will come within the scope of block. Whether it will come within
Okay.
the scope of block? No, it will not be coming into the scope of block. Therefore, seating capacity is to be very carefully approved. Okay, sir, 13 or less than 13. I agree. Except when, that means even for the 13 or less than 13 seater vehicle, there are exceptions. What are the exceptions, sir? If they are used in the further of such motor vehicle business, sir, I am a motor vehicle dealer, I am buying and selling motor vehicle, I am a person who is giving a rent a cab, so I am using it to the furtherance of my business, I am eligible to take credit. I have been given an exception from the blockage. Transportation of passenger service, sir, I am into the public service, I'm providing transportation of passenger service. Let's say for example, I am, SIRC travels, for example, I'm telling you, okay. Then imparting training on driving how such motor vehicle. Oh my goodness, exactly what I am doing now. Same way, if the people are doing how to drive, driving school, basically, if this three purpose is there, then it becomes eligible. Other than this three purpose, if the seating capacity is 13 or less than 13, then it is blocked. Guys, are you all with me? Now, with this mindset, have a look at the chart below. You will appreciate. Motor vehicle designed for transportation of person. Here itself I am giving a clear note. No restriction for the motor vehicle designed for transportation of goods. Restriction above discussion is only for motor vehicle designed for transportation of person. In that, ask a question, what is the seating capacity? Sir, 14 or more, sir. Appo, nothing is blocked. It is not blocked. It is eligible. Go ahead to enjoy the credit. No, sir, it is 13 or less than 13, sir. That means as for what purpose it has been used. The purpose is motor further usage, transportation of passenger, imparting driving. Then it is eligible. Other than the three purposes, then it is blocked. Guys, are you with me? Hello, my dear. Everybody. So
Yes, sir.
answer my question in a very quick fashion. Sir, the company is buying, a company is buying two-wheeler Splendor Plus for its marketing person to go and solicit the clients and to go and meet the prospective consumers. Eligible or ineligible?
Ineligible.
Excellent, my dear. Why it is ineligible? See, keep all the emotions away. Sir, used for business purpose, without that, how you will go? Keep all the emotion to dust. Keep all emotions to dust. Sir, how you say, sir, all emotions should be kept in dust. My dear brothers and sisters, we love our grandpa, grandma like anything. See, even I loved my grandpa, grandma like anything. But there was some day wherein my grandpa and grandma has died. They have to be burnt. Correct or not? They have to be burnt to ashes or they have to be buried. What? You are keeping your grandma and grandpa with you and saying, no, I love them so much, Abdina. You will keep them in the heart, but you will not actually physically keep them, right? Meaning thereby, it is the same. It is the same, context you have to appreciate. It's the same context you have to appreciate. When something is blocked, don't bring emotions. Don't bring purpose. Sir, two-wheeler. Okay, Splendor Plus. Oh, I agree. Very good. Is it a motor vehicle designed for transportation of person? Yes. Is it 13 less than 13 or less than 13 seater? Yes. Is it used for the set 3 purpose? No, it is used by the company for the marketing person. Again, there is nothing I can give you eligible. It is blocked. See, further supply of such motor vehicle. Sir, if the company is the dealer in two-wheeler, if the company is dealer in two-wheeler and such bike is bought for the purpose of further sale, not for the marketing person, then it is eligible. Sir, car purchase for the managing director to attend the meeting, sir. BMW Audi car purchased, sir. Blocked. Not eligible. And remember, if the vehicle is blocked, all the support services, I am saying this only for the vehicle, only for the motor vehicle. If the motor vehicle in original is blocked, insurance, repairs and maintenance, and all the support services for that blocked vehicle is also blocked. It's like Vivek comedy. Okay, meaning thereby when the original asset itself is blocked, you cannot enjoy the credit of support services. So this is applicable only for the vehicle and not for any other things. Just keep it back of mind. That's a hint. I'm sure you guys are all comfortable with motor vehicle. I'm going for the next one. Same thing logically applicable for vessel and aircraft. See, now having explained you how the chart works, going forward I'll explain you only charts and you guys have to run with me and then you have to revise and you have to upgrade yourself. Vessel and aircraft. Look at this, my dear. If it is used in the further suppliance, or if it is used for the purpose of transportation of passenger, it is used for the transportation of goods, or it is used how to teach how to drive or fly or navigate that, then it is eligible. It is not blocked. Other than the set purpose, if you use it, then it is blocked. If you use for set for purpose, then you are eligible. Other than the set for purpose, if you use, sir, what is other than set for purpose, sir? Popular thing, you are buying a flight for your private journey. You are buying a private jet. Oh, private jet, sir. Sir, that is also used for transportation of passenger, sir. No. Passenger means general public. Anybody indiscriminately should be transported. Whereas what do you do here? You buy a private jet, you want to drive by yourself. Okay. For what purpose, sir? Pleasure purpose, sir. I have money, I am doing, sir. Very good. Blocked. On contrast, sir, I am a dealer in the aircraft. I am a dealer in the aircraft. Hey guys, just a second. Okay, in contrast, I'm a dealer in the aircraft. I go on record. To, uh, buy and sell aircraft. I'm an intermediary. Then it's eligible because I'm using such thing in the furtherance of my supply. So that is eligible basically. Right, my dear? So this is how vehicle goes. And here also, vessel and aircraft also, I'm saying this, my dear. When the original supply is eligible, only then support services become eligible. When the original supply is blocked, original vehicle is vessel or aircraft is blocked, sorry, its support services is also blocked. Remember, sir, why you are saying, sir? Here comes the support services 17.5 AB, right? Let's have a quick look into this area, my dear. Have a look at this. Services by way of general insurance, servicing and repairs and maintenance. If it is for the set purpose, it is not blocked, eligible. And if I am the manufacturer of that such thing, for me also it is not blocked, eligible. Sir, why, sir? For manufacturer I have to give. My dear, closing stocks will be there. Yeah, closing stocks have to be maintained. Safely it has to be kept up, and it has to be kept up to the working level. So for that, all these three are required. Therefore, for manufacture of such motor vehicle, vessel, and aircraft, that is eligible. Right. Next to that, sir, insurance company which is basically taking reinsurance. Sir, in the riskier area, there is a probability that I might go for the reinsurance. If I go for the reinsurance, and then that is also not blocked, eligible. And finally, my dear brothers and sisters, apart from this ABC, anything is there, that is blocked. And most logically, if you check what will be coming over there, let me give you very clearly. Whatever is previously in two provisions we have learned as blocked and blocked and blocked, it will come over here. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody? That's a major learning.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's a major learning of the first three cases. Guys, do one small favor. Take a quick revision of these three, charts. I'm sure you have already received the material. Guys, everyone, have you received the material?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Received, sir.
Yeah, quickly go ahead, my dear brothers and sisters. Quickly go ahead. Revise this.
To mail you have sent, sir.
Hello. Yes, my dear. What's your doubt?
This material you have sent through mail, sir.
I could not hear you.
Sir, this material.
Yeah, Sonu, this material.
Material you have sent through mail, sir.
Yeah, I have shared it to your coordinator. He should have sent you in whatever modes. I'm not sure. He might be sent you through WhatsApp or he might be sent you mail. I'm not sure. Please get in touch with your coordinator.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Right. Any doubts? Shall we proceed to the next one? Next one is an interesting learning, which is supply of food, outdoor catering, beauty treatments, health, cosmetics, life insurance, and renting of a cab. All these things comes under category number 17, subsection 5, clause B, subclause 1. And if all these things, if it is point number A, used in the business furtherance of same category, that's why we use the word subcontracting, or used as a part of a taxable or a composite supply, or as used as a part of a taxable mixed supply, then it is not blocked, then it is eligible. Let me quickly explain you with the help, my dear. Let me quickly help with a small example. Let's take outdoor catering. So I will have this way. I have Kirtana sister here. Kirtana sister is a very big caterer. And what happens is our Atul goes and approaches Kirtana sister for the purpose of cooking. But Atul wants a North Indian sweets to be made. But Kirtana sister is a specialist in South Indian foods. She does not know how to make North Indian foods. Now, do you think, my dear brothers and sisters, Kirtana sister will turn down the contract? Do you think she'll be, my dear Sonu? I'm telling you, uh, my dear. If at all you have my contact number, ping me in WhatsApp. I can also share you. Absolutely not a problem. But after the class, but not now. Now focus, everybody. I think your number has been missed out. Please get in touch with your coordinator. Okay. Now listen, my dear. So do you think sister will be dropping down on the contract? No. Sister will call upon Seetharaman, who is a specialist in North Indian sweets. So I will go and I will make North Indian sweets. How much quantity? 1,000 quantities. Okay. Now with 1,000 quantity, whether Kirtana sister is going to sit and eat, why she purchased 1,000 quantity from me? Why she outsourced it to me? Because she wanted to use in the business. I am also caterer. She is also caterer. We are in the same line of business. So basically subcontracting is permitted. So that's what I use the word simpliciter, but you should use it as a same line of business. Okay. Kirtana sister now eligible. Okay. Now let's understand. There is a hotel. Sir, do you think accommodation, lodging, boarding and lodging area, 5-star hotel, they have to give food. Unfortunately, their kitchen is run out of power, so there is nothing called ability to cook is there, because completely the kitchen has lost the power, or there is a fire breakout, something has happened. Now what will you say? All the in-house people who are staying there in your hotel, are you not supposed to provide the food? So the hotel, what they does is they outsource that catering to Vijay. Now Vijay caterers is bringing food for that particular hotel and they are giving the food there. Sir, 5-star hotel is it in the business of supplying food? No. It is basically lodging and boarding accommodation facility. But for the protocol of 5-star category, it has to provide all dishes. Some 13 variety of dishes in the breakfast they have to provide. That is their protocol. They have to give. There is no second thoughts. For 3-star, minimum 7 items have to be kept over there. Minimum 7 items. So there are protocols for every one category of that sort. So we have to. So they are buying the food. So even though now, the particular hotel is not into the particular lodging, 5-star hotel is not into the business of supply of food. Whatever the food they are procuring from Vijay caterers, they are entitled to take credit. It is not blocked. Why, sir? Because it is used as a part of a composite supply provided to the supplier together. By the supplier together to the recipient. Therefore, it is entitled. Or it is a part of a taxable mixed supply. And let's understand. For example, your classes sometimes. SIRC sometimes provides food for you. What? You are coming to SIRC for taking food. ITT orientation program and GMCS. Are you coming there to eat food? No, right? You're going there to learn something contents there. Perfect, right? But what happened? Eventually you will end up actually getting the food also. What is this, sir? Mixed supply. If that is a taxable mixed supply, then that is also not blocked. It is eligible. Classic example for this taxable mixed supply, I can also tell you. Food supply at a business meet, a private gathering. Sir, I am conducting a training program. In the training program, what I do, I provide food also. A GST training program or customs training program. Let's understand, participant will be from the cross sector. So I am providing food for them. I am conducting in Leela Palace, a hotel, where I also provide them food. Those participants, see, is there everywhere classes are taken only with food? No. Is everyone who comes there expect food? No. So what is this, sir? Basically a mixed supply. But it's a taxable mixed supply. Then I am eligible. Not blocked. Because it's a part of this area. Okay, sir. If not in this business context, it is provided by employer to employee. My dear employer, employee, you will understand better. And sir, it is not provided out of love and affection. It is not provided out of any social obligation. It is provided out of a law of legal obligation. Under any law for the time being in force in India. Sir, employer providing food to employee by way of organizing a caterer who has to come and provide, and Vijay is the caterer. Vijay Catering is coming and providing food to Sonu's factory. Oh, the question is whether Sonu is a manufacturer. Yes, sir, manufacturer. Whether it is bound by the Factory Act 1948. Yes, sir, bound by the Factory Act 1940. As per law, obligated to provide food. Yes, sir, obligated to provide food. That is why Sonu's factory is procuring food from Vijay Caterers. Now Sonu's factory can take credit. Why, sir? Because it is not blocked, it is eligible. Because it is provided by the employer to the employee as a part of a statutory obligation. Sir, in contrast, Sonu Consulting Private Limited. It's a software company. For its employees, it's providing food. Sorry, software consulting companies, chartered accountant's office, cost accountant's office, company secretary office can never be considered as a factory. Therefore, no obligation under any law for the time being in force. There is no obligation under the law. Sir, management, they provide out of their courtesy, sir, goodwill gesture, sir, measures towards employee benefits, sir. Sorry, blocked, not eligible. It will come over here. My dear brothers and sisters, everybody, are you comfortable? Very, very, very critical interpretation. This clause A and clause B, all are subject to, especially this clause B will be teasing, because the moment you see employer employee, you might be inclined to take, or you might be inclined to claim. But no, it should not be the case. It should be only as per the law. Are you all comfortable, my dear? Similarly placed is this membership of a club, fitness and all this membership of a club, health and fitness center and travel benefit. Only if it is as per the law, only provided by employer and employee as per the law, it becomes eligible. If not, it becomes blocked. Very, very simple extension. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, yeah. So, my dear brothers and sisters, very, very important leg we have completed. Just brainstorm the previous 5 charts. Now, revise all the 5 charts, whatever I have done. Motor vehicle for transportation of passenger, vessel and aircraft, service with respect to that, and outdoor catering and all those stuff, what we discussed, the 8 points before. And now this particular thing. 5 charts. Quickly revise the 5 charts and be a part of us. Quickly revise the 5 chart. Freeze it for a moment. Revise the 5 charts. Come back to me. Go ahead, my dear. Here we go. My dear, let's start with 17 subsection 5 works contract. Keeping it very simple, if works contract is used in the furtherance of business, or if it is used for the construction of the plant and machinery, my dear brothers and sisters, then it is eligible. Here is where the question comes in. Sir, used in the subcontracting, I need not explain, because already we covered in the previous provision 17(5)(b). Same way, here also used in the subcontracting means used by the person who is in the same line of business. Sir, I am a works contractor and I am taking a service from another work contractor for the purpose of executing my business, then it's fine. For example, sir, I have been asked to fix the tiles. But it's so unfortunate, my tile machine has gone repair, so I'm not using it. Therefore, I'm requesting a tile fixing person to come and fix the tiles for me, wherein he is going to use some goods, he is going to use his machine, and then he is going to put his services. Then why I am using this? Because I am using it in the course of furtherance of my business. Eligible. Sir, or for example, construction of a plant and machinery. First, what does this word construction means? You do anything, but only to the extent of capitalization of an immobile property, you can call it as construction. You do anything. It may be a construction, it may be a reconstruction, it may be a renovation, it may be an addition, it may be an alteration, it may be a repairs, it may be anything. But to call it as a construction for this purpose of eligibility, it has to be capitalized as immobile property in the books of accounts. Sir, immovable property, how can I call it as plant and machinery? Yes. Plant and machinery has got the dubious, record here. Look at this plant and machinery. It means an apparatus, equipment or any machinery fixed to the earth by foundation or structural that are used for making the outward supply. For example, but excludes this. My dear, land and building or a civil structure, telecommunication towers and pipeline lanes outside the factory cannot be considered as plant and machinery. First, register this in your mind. It cannot be considered as a plant and machinery. It is outside plant and machinery scope. That is why if it is capitalized in the books of accounts, sir, can I call it as construction of plant and machinery? No, it is blocked. Even if it is capitalized, we say it is blocked because it is not it is not land and building. Sir, let's understand. Our Vijay is or our Deepika sister is constructing a factory. In only in that factory, every employee have to work. Emotionally, you will ask, sir, without constructing the factory, how come it is possible? And factory I am using only for the business purpose, therefore I should be eligible. Those are emotions. Keep it outside. Factory building is not covered under plant and machinery. Sometimes they will ask you, new factory building constructed, new staff quarters constructed. Blocked, not eligible. Okay. Telecommunication towers. Guys, let's understand. Deepika, I would say it's a detail. When we have Reliance, Jio, Dio. Now Deepika, information, broadcasting service provider, something like that sort. She is putting telecommunication towers to ensure she is getting mobile connectivity towers. New towers they are installing. Capitalization. Blocked. Not eligible. Sir, without that, how they will do the business, sir? That is not my issue. That is not my concern. Law has said it is blocked. That means it is blocked. If the telecommunication tower companies, if companies like Jio, Airtel is not happy with the decision, let them go and fight in the court. You don't think as them. You please accept the law and proceed law. Pipelines laid outside the factory. Sir, Deepika Oil Mills from Chennai to Madurai laying pipelines. Capitalized in the books of accounts. Sorry boss, no credit is eligible, it is blocked. Sir, without pipeline, how they transport? That's not their problem. They will take care. Let them fight in the court of law. You can't come in. You can't come in and ask. Sir, suppose in factory building there was some repairs, sir. One roof, one part has alone broken. Telecommunication towers, one particular part is malfunctioning. Pipelines laid outside the factory, somewhere some part alone has got the problem and I am fixing it, which is basically of revenue nature, and I am charging to P&L. My dear, you are eligible to take credit on that repairs. Why? Because it is not capitalized. Only to the extent of capitalization I can call it as construction. Only when something is construction of immovable property, block credit applies, not for the repairs and maintenance. Guys, are you comfortable with works contract? That means to consolidate. If I use it in the business furtherance of say business subcontracting, I am eligible. Construction of plant and machinery. For example, sir, what is typical plant and machinery? You call it at then. Your plant and machinery is like apparatus. Say for example, you are a water refinery unit. You are a petroleum refinery unit, for example. You require a big structures fixed in the earth for the purpose of processing. Leave everything here. Think about car manufacturing unit. The car manufacturing unit is a fixed facility. Sir, can I have a moving facility? Not possible. Yeah, it's a fixed facility. But I am using that facility for manufacturing of my cars. I am using my petrochemical facility for the purpose of purifying the petrol. I am using the big drums and fixed structures for putting a refinery of waters. So I should be made eligible for it even though it is fixed nature. Why? Because those satisfies the definition of plant and machinery. Everybody, are you comfortable? Right? So in that plant and machinery, we understand three things are specifically excluded, and therefore if the three things are done, even if it is capitalized, it is blocked. In those three things, if there is any repairs and maintenance carried out, that is eligible, because what is blocked is only capitalizative nature and not the revenue nature. Since why it is eligible, sir? Because it is not blocked. Since it is not blocked, it become eligible. Guys, are you all with me? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Mark works contract, very important and very similar. If you have understood the works contract and construction of a plant and machinery, similar structuring is for the purpose of Inputs and input service used for construction purpose. What the inputs and input services are used for? Sir, construction of plant and machinery and foundation. Same meaning plant and machinery. Then it is eligible. If not, if it is for other than this three, that is to say land, telecommunication tower, pipelines laid outside the factory, my dear, and is used for such construction, it is blocked because construction means we understand has been capitalized. Other than that, my dear brothers and sisters, it is eligible. So P and L item, it is again eligible. So construction is very similar to works contract. Guys, are you comfortable? Everybody, construction
Yes,
is
sir.
very similar to works contract. And my dear brothers and sisters, barring is all a simple cakewalk in the blocked credit. ITC shall not be allowed on taxes paid under section 10. We understand composition scheme supplier. Tell me, my dear, whether a composition scheme supplier is eligible to collect tax. Section 10 subsection 4. What
No,
does
sir.
it says? It says
No,
a
sir.
composition scheme supplier is neither entitled to collect tax and nor eligible for taking ITC.
Credit.
Credit. Very good. Yeah. Therefore, he could not have paid. Even if it is erroneously charged, one cannot take credit. That's what law here to say. And next one. Look at point number 17, subsection 5, clause F. ITC shall not be allowed on goods and services are both received by a non-resident taxable person except on the goods imported by him. Sir, why is there imported goods? My dear, imported goods are, allowed to clear only after completion of assessment as per section 17 and 18 of the Customs Act. As per the Customs Act, only after completion of the assessment, payment of duty, it is pay first, clear later concept. That means there is no dispute about the amount of credit claimed. Whereas in domestic case, yeah, these are non-resident taxable person. Domestic procurements. Their registration itself valid only for a period of 90 days. After 90 days, is it possible for me to go and check them and catch them if they have wrongly availed the credit? Not possible, ma. That is why domestic supplies they are blocking. Only imported goods they are permitting. Why is that? Imported goods were assessed first and then only taxes were paid and then credit is eligible because already it is assessed. Whereas domestic purpose assessment will take time. That is why domestic purpose are blocked. And 17 5G, no need to say, straight away personal consumption is blocked, yeah, because the moment we understand it's only for the business purpose, not for personal purpose. Therefore, anything which you consume for the personal consumption purpose, it is blocked, it's not eligible. And ITC shall not be allowed for the goods lost. Goods lost means what, sir? Completely stolen or destroyed. Lost here also includes abnormal loss. And goods written off by way of gift or free sample. And at anything you do this, you please understand, goods lost, stolen, destroyed, written off or disposed or gift given as a free sample. Is it the purpose for which a businessman is doing the business? Is it all the intention to make profit? Absolutely no. Sir, free samples is for business promotion, no, sir. It may result, no, sir, but there is no certainty. It does not, free sample does not result in any outward liability as such. Right, my dear? So, therefore, there is a question. There is a question. That is why it has been asked to reverse. Better to reverse the ITC. And finally, for fraudulent people, ITC is not entitled to. Guys, we have seen section 74, 129 and 113 tax invoice, debit note, credit note chapter itself. We have seen these are fraudulent and people. When revised tax invoice is issued for them, it has to prominently carry a word ITC is not admissible. You remember that, my dear? Everybody? Yeah, so that's the end of this beautiful discussion called blocked credit. My dear brothers and sisters, a very important thread is over, and the next one we will be entering is eligible conditions for that. And let's go ahead to understand the eligible credit conditions. Before that, tell me, my dear, are you all comfortable with block credit? On a quick revision, similarly we are going to take you through the eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria remains first and foremost very simple. First one, blocked credit is not eligible other than the block credit if used for the business furtherance, and if the amount gets credited in electronic credit ledger, you are entitled to take credit. These are the primary conditions. What do you mean by the amount is getting credited to electronic credit ledger? We will discuss about this later. Already we have discussed this in returns chapter, wherein I have clearly explained you the scope of 2A and 2B. My dear, if you can quickly recollect, credit is entitled today if the reflection happens in GSTR 2B. Have we covered it, my dear? Everybody,
Yes,
have we covered it?
Yes, sir.
We have already covered it. Yeah, that is what the beauty of this learning is all about. We are going for the next one. So, sir, can I avail the credit straight away upon procurement? No, no. These 5 conditions have to be satisfied. First condition, the recipient should have received the supply and also received the invoice. Sir, what do you mean by received the supply? Whether he have to physically receive? No, no, yeah. His authorized representative can also receive. For example, Vijay is the recipient of the goods. He is instructing the supplier to deliver it to our Mahesh, who is a job worker. Sir, goods are not received by Vijay. But as per the instruction given by Vijay, goods are delivered to Mahesh, a job worker. Goods are deemed to be received by Vijay. Right, my dear? And not only that, it is not about simply receiving a supply. They should also receive the invoice. Sir, that means in tax invoice, debit note, credit note chapter, we have seen movement of goods against delivery challan. If goods, multiple lot of goods are supplied, only with the final lot of only with the final deliverables, final lot of consignment, original invoice will come. That means a question comes. If at all I am going to ship you a particular, good in 4 different installments, tell me when will you take credit? When this both conditions of received the supply and received invoice will get satisfied? Upon first supply, second, third or last supply? Tell me, my dear, when the condition will satisfy?
On last supply,
On
sir.
last supply, yeah, look at the condition. In case where goods are received in lots, installment batches, credit shall be taken only upon receipt of last installment. Credit can be taken only upon last installment. Guys, are you comfortable? Yeah. Everybody, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's proceed with the next one, my dear. Next condition. He, the recipient, is in possession of the tax invoice or debit note or bill of entry. That means you should possess and you should keep it. It is not simply you receive, but you should also have to keep it in your record. Sir, I have lost the invoice, sir. Credit is also lost. Invoice lost, credit lost. Right, my dear? And next one, he, the recipient, has filed a valid tax return. Recipient and supplier both have to file their valid tax return. What do you mean by valid tax return? All self-return taxes have been fully paid. That means GSTR 3B has been filed with no dues. And you all will be aware of GSTR 3B cannot be filed with payable. I have already clarified you guys. And ITC matching should be confirmed as per section 41. Guys, what is the section 41? How this happens? Very simple, yeah. Whatever is sold by the supplier, you can only receive that. No, that matching concept. So GSTR 1 and GSTR 2A and 2B have to match. That is what they are trying to say. Only when all these conditions are satisfied, you are entitled to take credit. My dear, of this very interesting one is received by the authorized recipient and receipt of invoice and possession of the invoice. Sometimes they'll ask you this way: goods are delivered as per the instruction of the recipient to the third party. Are they entitled? You have tried the explanation. Yes, they are entitled. There is something called deemed to be received by the registered person. This concept is right. And then Mr. X has lost the invoice. That means you have to write, if the invoice is lost, credit is also lost. You are duty bound to write that reply. Next one. Sir, invoice means it consists of 18 items compulsory. No, sir. Yes. See, for example, please understand. A human being means, when I say there is a human being, basically you will imagine very similar to us. 2 eyes, nose, ears, mouth, face, leg, hand, all. Suppose, tell me, my dear, you're still looking into a person, basically someone who want to marry. Okay, you're looking out for bride or bridegroom, whoever it may be. They are completely blind. 2 hands is not there, 2 legs is not there, they are sitting in a chair. Now tell me, my dear, with all due respects to physically challenged, visually challenged people, will you be happy to get married? They are still alive, there is life in them. Pretty much they are doing painting in their mouth, using the mouth itself, they are doing the painting and all. Will you be able to marry them? Will you be able to accept as a other common human being? No, right? Touch your heart and say no. But what is the reality, sir? When there is any defect, we will not give the credit. Are you with me? BMW or Audi car, Sounds great. You're going to travel in BMW or Audi car. But so unfortunate, there are a lot of scratches in and around. Sir, will you accept that BMW and Audi car? Will you not go and fight to the showroom? Wala, sir, it's the same BMW car. Still, sir, it can travel, sir. Hey, why the scratches? When there is a defect, credit will be denied. You will not accept it. Same way, my dear. 18 items must be there in a tax invoice when I say, but when it is not there, it is not there. That is why this relaxation has been given by the government. Government has relaxed, saying that, okay, Baba, I understand. My dear, this is highlighted and given in, blocks and italics. Please understand, it's a standalone 4-mark question. Standalone 4-mark question. What are all the minimum contents of the invoice should be present to avail the credit? What are all the requirements it should have? GSTN of the supplier and recipient, description of the goods and services, total value, tax amount, and in case of interstate supply, place of supply. These are the minimum contents an invoice should possess if at all they want to take a credit on a defective document. That means look at the heading itself. If at all any document is there which is consisting of all this 5 information, that is again deemed to be for the purpose of ITC what? See, you have violated tax invoice chapter, there is no doubt. But for the ITC chapter, you can take credit on the basis of this minimum details. You can take credit on the basis of this minimum details. A document will not be considered as defective, and ITC cannot be claimed unless this provision is on. I think government will have this provision for another 1 year, say 5-6 years they will have, because they are trying to educate the general public, and the moment this is gone, it will be abolished. And this is a standalone 4-mark question, mark it important. And next one is, if creditors are not paid, if the creditors are not paid within 180 days, 4th point since already covered, I am going to the 5th point. Sir, if creditors are not paid immediately, if the creditors are not paid within 180 days, my dear brothers and sisters, you will not be entitled for the credit. You will be asked to reverse along with the interest at the rate of 18% from the date of taking credit to the date of adding it to the output tax liability. It's a cruel, and it is still enforceable by the law. But this provision of payment to the creditors within 180 days is not applicable to RCM. It's not applicable to Schedule 1 transaction. It is not applicable to obligations already settled. Let us apply the common sense. Point number 1, RCM is excluded is a real cruel thing. They should have included the RCM also. But somehow they have excluded. But look at this. Activities covered in Schedule 1. My dear, activities covered in Schedule 1 are called as activities without consideration. It is called as activity without consideration. When there is no consideration, where is the question of payment within 180 days? Activity is already settled. Activity is already settled by the supplier in favor of the supplier. My dear, already I have paid the amount. Where is the question of further discharging the liability? Are you able to get it, my dear? So, these 3 are the excellent exceptions. This will be inculcated in the question itself. This will be inculcated in the question itself. You have to be careful enough to pick these areas. Apart from this, if the suppliers has not been paid for forward charge mechanism within 180 days, then there is going to be a reversal coming into picture. From what day, sir? Not from the date of invoice. Look at the beauty. From the date of taking credit. Sir, date of invoice to date of taking credit, there may be a delay. We are not sure. So we have to be careful here. From the date of taking credit to the date of adding it to the output tax liability, 18% liability gets attracted. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody? And point number 6. Guys, are you all comfortable with point number 5? Everyone? And a very, very intricate point what you have to keep remembering is, if creditor is not paid within 180 days, from the date of taking credit, not from the date of invoice. This is what something you have to remember. From the date of taking credit, 180 days criteria comes into picture. Okay. And the next one is point number 6. Guys, on capital goods, when you pay a tax on capital goods, you can either claim ITC or claim depreciation on the tax. Both you cannot do simultaneously. Sir, can we pass an entry? Can we pass an entry simultaneously to avail the credit and also to capitalize and depreciate the tax? Is it possible? You can pass an entry called capital account debit to supplier, one full entry, full amount to the capital goods, capitalizing the taxes also. Or you can pass an entry capital account debit, input tax credit account debit to party account. Either of this entry only you can pass. Can you pass both the entries in the books at the same time for a single asset? Not possible, right? Dear brothers and sisters, please participate here. Please participate. Are you all with me? Are you able to visualize what I am saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, you have to read the question carefully again. See, I have given it in the red color. Why, sir? Because there are probable testings in this two red colors. What you're seeing, going to see. Next one is also latest amendment. I would not say only for this exam. Previous exam itself, this amendment has come. So first one, what does it say? Depreciation and ITC are mutually exclusive on one figure. You cannot have both. That's what point number 6 is all about. Remember the accounting entry. If you are strong enough in accounts, you can actually do wonders. And next one, a registered person shall not be allowed to take ITC on the invoices or the debit notes if it is taken after the actual date of filing annual return or the due date for filing the return for the month of September. Time limit, my dear, within the specified time limit you are supposed to take the credit, but this time limit is not applicable for re-availing the credit. Let's assume you have not paid the creditor because of some dispute. You have not paid the creditor. Dispute goes on. After 4 years only you are settling the payment. Sir, can I take the credit, sir, after 4 years? Yes, you can take the credit. Why, sir? Earlier you have reversed and now you are only re-availing the credit, and for re-availing the credit there is no limit. Guys, everybody with me? And debit note also nowadays consider only from the date of debit note, not from the original supply date. Original supply date and debit note date was delinked by the latest amendment. Therefore, sir, now let's give you an example. I have made a supply in 2021, sir. I made a supply in April 2021. Sir, can I issue a debit note in April 2022? Yeah, you can give. Sir, this time limit is barred, sir. Oh, there is no time limit for debit note, Baba. Only credit note carries a time limit. Have you understood this in tax invoice, debit note, credit note chapter? There is only a time limit restriction for credit note, and there is no time limit restriction for debit note, and there is no time limit for issuing a debit note. Why I should restrict the credit? Therefore the credit is also entitled. Sir, a credit I should take what purpose, sir? I should take April 2021 or April 2022? No, from April 2022. It belongs to financial year 22-23. It belongs to financial year 22-23. Right, my dear? So therefore we have to take it accordingly. Is it clear, everybody? Is it clear, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Right, yeah, that's an amendment for you. And then we have something called restriction on availing the input tax credit, where the items is not reflected. So till now what I said, if credit is not reflected in 2A and 2B, you are not entitled to credit. This is what the stand taken till now. This is what I said, right? If it is something is not reflected in GSTR 2A, you are not entitled to credit. But law is kind enough to grant you a relaxation. Law says, Are Baba, please understand, even if ITC is not there, what I am going to do is, I am going to allow you the credit to the extent of 5% of ITC reflected for the period, or actual ITC not reflecting. Whichever is less, I am going to provide you. Guys, you will be able to understand this only if I give you an example. So let me give you an example so that it will be very, very comfortable for all of us. 1 second, my dear, 1 second. Please allow me a time. Class problems. Yeah, here we go, my dear. Here we go. See, this all illustrated. All illustrations are already worked on. Okay, probably I would say this question is enough. Look at this, my dear. A recipient has an RCM imports of 8 lakhs already paid. Now, my dear, RCM paid. Can I avail the credit of 8 lakhs? Am I eligible? RCM paid. Am I eligible to take credit?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am eligible. I am eligible to take credit. So reflection, RCM there is no purpose. Yeah, only for forward charge mechanism. GSTR 1 supplier have to give and recipient have to give a credit on this particular area. So let's 175 invoices got reflected into a, for which the reflection is 48 lakhs. My dear brothers and sisters, think for a minute. 48 lakhs is reflected. That means how much I should be eligible for? Look at this. With respect to invoices furnished in GSTR 1, full ITC if all other conditions are fulfilled. That means I'm eligible fully. Therefore, for the 48 lakhs, for the entire 48 lakhs, I am entitled to. Guys, are you all with me? Here for the entire 8 lakhs, I am entitled to. And here the entire 48 I am eligible for. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes,
An
sir.
invoice is not reflected in 25 and the corresponding 25 invoices carries 2 lakh credit. So now I have to check A or B, whichever is less. What is a 5% of ITC reflected? My dear, how much is the ITC reflected in our case? 48 lakhs. So tell me, my dear, what is
2.4 lakhs.
5% of 45 lakhs?
2.4 lakhs.
So 2.4 lakhs. What is the actual ITC? Actual ITC not reflected.
2 lakhs.
Leave the spelling, yeah, just focus on it is 2 lakhs. Tell me, my dear, 2 lakhs or 2.4 lakhs, whichever is less.
2 lakhs.
2 lakhs.
2 lakhs, yeah. Therefore, I am entitled to 2 lakh credit. I am eligible for this. So, what is the total eligibility for this month? 8 lakh under RCM plus 48 lakhs in a forward charge mechanism got reflected plus another 2 lakhs. My dear brothers and sisters, I am entitled here for 58 lakhs. I am entitled here for 58 lakhs. Guys, are you all with me? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
See, similar question, similar content. I will just throw it up this way. Here, answer is already available. Nevertheless, you can discuss. See, RCM 8 lakhs paid. So, entire 8 lakh on eligibility payment basis there. 120 invoices only got reflected, but it has got only 40 lakhs reflection. Entire 40 lakh you are eligible to. 80 invoices consisting of 10 lakhs is not eligible. So, how much I have to work? 5% of 40 lakhs, which works around to 2 lakh, or actual ITC not reflecting 10 lakh, whichever is less. 2 lakhs is less.
2 lakhs.
Therefore, I am entitled for 8 lakh plus 40 lakhs plus 2 lakh. I am entitled for only 50 lakhs. Guys, are you all with me? Are able to visualize? But how the presentation for this problem, sir? See, presentation should be in this format. Presentation should be in this format. Guys, are you all with me? Is it loud and clear? Yeah, you need to present in this format, wherein you have to write very clearly whatever is reflected, via GSTR 1 disclosure by the supplier, fully eligible, and whatever is not reflected, A or B, whichever is less. So you have to calculate an inner column A and B, whichever is less should be taken to the outer column, and to that you have to add the RCM eligibility for which this restriction is not applicable. For RCM, this restriction is not applicable, and finally you should arrive at the total eligibility. Guys, are you comfortable? Presentation should be like this. Are you comfortable? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Presentation plays a very important role in scoring the marks. Knowing the content alone not sufficient. You have to present it to perfection. You have to present it to perfection. And my dear brothers and sisters, the last criteria will be no ITC will be allowed in case of fraudulent, which is 74, 129, 130. No credit will be availed. So after that means we are knocking down on all eligibility conditions. So my dear, it should not be blocked and it should not be eligible. After satisfying these two conditions, we are checking whether it results in outward eligibility. Only then eligibility will be granted. Sir, how to break down, sir? How much credit and when I can take, sir? If all the above conditions are satisfied, blocked credit you will not be eligible. Other than the blocked credit, we are asking, you are a banking, insurance and NBFC or you are a normal business? Sir, normal business, sir. What purpose you used for? Purpose it is used for other than business purpose, sir. Okay. Business purpose used for exempt, sir. My dear, both the cases you are not eligible because it is not resulting in business furtherance. It is not resulting in output tax liability. Only when all the conditions are satisfied, used for other than exempt, you are eligible. How much I am eligible, sir? I am eligible to take 100% of the input services and capital goods. The taxes paid on these content are 100% eligible. Guys, are you all with me? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
See, my dear, quickly brainstorm. Take 3 minutes to 5 minutes to brainstorm the conditions and this utility factor. My dear, with this, I would say we have come to the conclusion of the examination purpose orientation of the input tax study chapter. I am going to discuss few of the past examination questions for you now, or let us take the RTP and mock test papers to get ourselves checked whether there is any ITC questions are there. We can answer that, and if not, after doing that one or two exercise, I will straight away go ahead to open up a beautiful discussion called overall problem testing, which is more of like a formulation of content, right my dear? So take immediate dwelling, immediate revision. My notes is with you. Please revise the conditions and this particular utility test. So welcome back my dear brothers and sisters, and I'm sure you will be ready for this examination testing. So let's go ahead and try straight away, get into this examination questions. I'll take this question number 11, which is basically, RTP, and also, okay, let me take the main examination question itself. I'll go for question number Lee Mark. I'll take question number 13 and Jamco Limited. Both are very interesting questions. We will focus on the highest level, okay? I'm not focusing at the lowest level. I'm trying to, get your confidence at the earliest point of time. Look at this, my dear. Limak of Nasik, Maharashtra, a registered supplier, is engaged in the manufacturing of taxable goods. So they are giving you the hint, supplier is engaged in the manufacturing of taxable goods. That means you should be entitling them to credit. The following detailed items of the purchase of the services purchased and services availed by it from Gujarat. So therefore IGST transaction. So they are in Maharashtra, they are purchasing from Gujarat. So IGST transaction for the month of March has been given. Motor vehicle purchased for employees used for the personal as well as business purpose. Tell me my dear, eligible, not eligible? Motor vehicle purchased for employees to be used for personal as well as business. Ineligible. Straightforward. This is very good. You can give that I concept. Yeah, absolutely fine. Then motor vehicle purchased for transportation of goods within the factory. Motor vehicle for transportation of goods. Eligible? Yeah, very good, my dear brothers and sisters. Excellent, yeah, excellent. Next, food items for the consumption of employees. These items were supplied free of cost to the employees in lieu of their service rendered by them in the manufacture in the course of employment. 2000. My dear, eligible or ineligible? It depends on the assumption which you are going to write. It depends on the assumption you are going to write. What assumption you are going to write? Is this food supplied as per the law for the timing enforced by employer to employee, or it is management decision? While reading the provision, it seems like it is obligation of the employer. So you can write an assumption so and you can take the credit, okay, as per the law. Rent a cab facility availed for employees to fulfill statutory obligation. My dear, eligible or ineligible? Eligible. That's it, my dear. That's it. Let's go for Jamco Limited and check out. Jamco Limited is raw material spices purchased. Raw spices purchased for the furtherance of spice business, 50,000. Raw material purchased for the furtherance. Eligible, ineligible? Eligible, yeah. Raw material raw spices used for personal use of the directors, personal consumption. Something used for the personal consumption. Eligible or ineligible? Ineligible. So 20,000 ineligible. Electric machinery purchased for the use in manufacturing process. Electric machinery purchased used in manufacturing process. That means it is a plant and machinery used for the furtherance of business. Use the process is therefore eligible. Motor vehicle used for transportation of employees. Motor vehicle used for the transportation of the employees. Oh no, you have to write an assumption. If the seating capacity is 14 or more, eligible. If the seating capacity is not more than 13, you are not supposed to write 13 or less. You are supposed to write, if the seating capacity is not more than 13, then it is blocked. So you have to write the assumption and accordingly you have to write the answer. Payment made for the materials and to contractor for construction of staff quarters. My dear, can I call staff quarters as plant and machinery?
No.
We have specifically discussed, right? Therefore, this is ineligible. Therefore, it is ineligible or not eligible. Anything is fine, yeah. So that's Jamco Limited for you on a quick succession. Let us go for Harshgeet Private Limited, and straight away we are considering raw material to be received in September. Sir, this is for the month of July, and they are saying raw material to be received in September. Can I claim credit of 2.5 lakhs, sir? I can take credit only when the supply is received. Very good. Yeah, only when the supply is received and invoice is received, I am eligible. Whereas for this particular 2,50,000, I am eligible to receive only in I am eligible to take credit only in September tax period,
September.
but not in July tax period. Credit is not denied; it is only delayed, deferred. Okay, my dear. Membership of a club availed for employees working in the factory, 1.45 lakhs. My dear, depends on the assumption. This will go. If it is provided by employer to employee for the law for the time being in force, 1.5 lakh. But I don't see club membership is mandatory under any law. So therefore, I would suggest you to write the assumption that this is not as per the law for the time being in force. Therefore, it is ineligible. Inputs received in 5 lots, out of which third lot was received during the month. Inputs received in 5 lots, out of which only third lot is received for 80,000. Now tell me, my dear, can you take rid of this 80,000?
Ineligible.
Ineligible.
You can entitle to receive, you can entitle to take credit on full supplies only when the
Last
Lot is received.
excellent last lot of installment is excellent. Yeah. Truck used for transportation of raw materials, motor vehicle used for transportation of goods.
Yes, sir.
Eligible. Capital goods. Next one, capital goods. Out of three items, invoice for 2 items is missing, and the GST paid on such item is rupees 80,000 rupees. Total is 1.5 lakhs. Of the 1.5 lakh, 80,000 worth invoices were missing. So what do you guys do?
70,000 only eligible.
Excellent. Yeah, you are eligible for only 70,000. You are not eligible for furtherance. Guys, are you comfortable? Everybody? So repeatedly in even in Lakshmi Limited latest problem also they only tested this. Okay, let us quickly go to the institute website and check from the board of studies whether second series of the question is also mock test paper is also out. So I'm getting into the second series. Oh no, it is scheduled to happen. Okay, I'm going back to the series number 1. Intermediary, taxation question and taxation answer. I'm opening up. Here we go for the question. So let me check any GST question directly here. There is a question for registration and there is no question for ITC as such. Guys, are you comfortable? Overall question is there. So this overall question is what we are going to address now. Guys, are you all comfortable? Everybody till now? This is what ITC's highest level of testing. This is what ITC's highest level of testing, and there cannot be any further testing as such, my dear. So just keep yourself cool and go ahead to proceed with, my dear brothers and sisters. That's a completion of a beautiful chapter called Input Tax Credit. Now I propose to head you towards overall testing chapter. I am proposing to take you all through, my dear. So what is this overall testing, sir? Overall testing is very similar to the first question what we have discussed here. So let me show you. Let us have a look at this overall testing. Okay, have a look at this Pradyumna Limited. You in one question you will have supply, FCM, RCM, exemption, and what not, ITC, availment, utilization order. So many things will be clubbed in one particular question. Even so, for example, if at all I want to give you this type of question. Riddhi and Co., a supplier of goods under GST regime, has made the following outward supply. So they are giving the details of outward supply. They are giving the details of input purchases. They are giving the ITC opening balance. And this is a very, very simple, plain vanilla problem. But look at this. It's for 8 marks. It's for 8 marks. With me, my dear brothers and sisters. So after we are going to solve a type of problem which I am giving you, this type of problems will be a cakewalk for you, because the entire whole objective of this type of problem is to check whether you are adjusting the ITC as per the order. That's the only whole objective of this type of questions. So my dear, let me take up the overall problem, of which the plain vanilla version is Riddhi and Co. So if at all I have to take it, so look at the entire question. Compute the minimum GST payable in cash by Riddhi and Co. for the tax period and the ITC to be carried forward to the next month if any. So this is the overall testing for the period. So let me solve Riddhi Limited also for you guys. It's a simple example of overall question. Okay, simple example of overall question, how it works. Now my dear, let us please go ahead to work on this area. Formulation is very important here. Look at this. I'm going to have the heading, and then after that I'm going to have particulars. I'm going to have working note reference if at all you want to have it. Then I'm going to have CGST. Then I'm going to have SGST. And then I'm going to have IGST. Depends on the question. I'm going to have this all. And my dear brothers and sisters, let's appreciate, this is your examination answer sheet, and this is left hand side and this is right hand side. So I'm going to have the same type of arrangements over here. Okay. I'm going to have a similar structuring. What is this right hand side for? Right hand side is for the main answer. My dear. Computation of minimum GST payable by Riddhi Limited, whatever it be, for the tax period. See, this is a simple question. Since it is given in the RTP, I am proceeding. Sir, what is this working note for, sir? See, listen carefully, visualize what I am going to say. First is output tax payable. So GST liability on outward supply. This will be working note number 1 for me, and this is working note 1 for me, wherein I will calculate outward supply. I'll calculate outward calculation, or you can give the heading computation of outward supply. Arey Baba. Outward supply made by Riddhi Limited for the tax period. And my dear, let's go ahead and quickly have the question. Intra-state sale and interstate sale, 8 lakh and 8 lakh, tax rates being a 9%, 9% and 18% respectively. Both inward and outward are exclusive of taxes. All the conditions for availing ITC, everything is satisfied. So my dear brothers and sisters, my intra-state supply of goods and interstate supply of goods details have been given. So I can go ahead straight away and say intra-state supply. Intra-state supply of goods and interstate supply of goods. Working note is not required. Straight away it is going to be 10 lakh and it is 8 lakh. No explanation, nothing, straightforward, 8%, because it's self-explanatory. These are all self-explanatory. So look at this, I am populating my liabilities and I have done it. There is no other things. So I am going ahead. So I am going to say this is called as what? This is called total output tax liability. And I will write those things over there as well. So these are my output tax liability. And now I have to go for the next one. Purchase detail, input tax credit details have been given to me. So I have to go for working note. And here thankfully there is nothing called add RCM liability payable in cash. Working note number 2. Sir, in this question it is not there, but usually if it is there you have to provide it. So same mannerism in which that working note should also be done with a small change. Computation of RCM liability uh, of Riddhi Limited for the tax period, and the change will be here. We will write RCM to be paid in cash. RCM to be paid in cash. My dear brothers and sisters, you have to understand this is working note number 2, RCM transactions on inward supply. So we have to have the calculation. In this problem it is 0, so I have all the workings 0, so I have no other liability, and the total liability, outward supply plus inward liability, is a total liability for the tax period. This we have to calculate over here, and my dear brothers and sisters, it will work around to this way. And my dear, it's very, very important to have a track. Why I am doing this, what I am doing this, you should always have a check. And now what I am supposed to do? From this I am going to reduce RCM liability. Sir, why you are adding? Total liability is what? To demonstrate the total liability, I have that. Now why you are reducing RCM liability? Because it is to be paid in cash. I cannot pay anything other than cash. So how much I have to reduce? Whatever is referred as point number 2 here, the total, that point number 2 you have to refer. Sir, where you will get the point number 2? You have to connect it. You have to borrow from this working note. Yeah, I have already completed the working note, so I am just substituting those figures over here. Sir, this problem is nothing, no sir. But next problem, overall problem, it will come. I'm equipping you for that. So, sir, by reducing this, what will you get, sir? By reducing this, my dear brothers and sisters, what I get is GST liability adjustable against GST liability adjustable against ITC. I will get this figure, which is basically your total liability minus RCM liability. This you have to pay it in cash. So I would say, okay, this is again working note number 2, and this has got nothing. Probably I would say this is A. So payable in, I can say B, whereas B equal to A minus 2. A minus 2 will be your B, and my dear brothers and sisters, you will be getting these figures. And now the game starts. It is now time to go ahead and do what? Less input tax credit. Working note number 3. So same regulation will come for working note number 3, but it's going to be quite bigger. So I'm going to give it here. Working note number 3. Working note matters a lot, my dear. Computation of eligible ITC of Riddhi Limited for the tax period. And my dear brothers and sisters, to top of everything, I have to have a wording called opening balance. For ITC alone, I will have something called opening balance carry forward. And in this question, I am checking whether opening balance is so as given in the question. You have to take it up. And here we go. In this question, I have Riddhi & Co. ITC at the beginning of the tax period, CGST 57, SGST 60. So CGST 57,000, SGST 60,000 is the opening balance, and my dear brothers and sisters, 1,40,000 is the IGST opening balance. And my dear brothers and sisters, here is where calculations will come into picture. We have to be careful. First, what we have to do, sir, intrastate inward supply of goods, which is basically suffering forward charge mechanism and no RCM. Okay, in that FCM will be there. You can take those. And sometimes what will happen, sir, to test your patience, what they will do, no, intrastate they will give, but they will say from unregistered supplier. From unregistered person, tell me my dear, from unregistered person whether you will be eligible, from unregistered person whether you will be eligible to take credit.
No, sir.
Sir.
No, yeah. Therefore, you have to write 00 over here. No calculation straight away. Purchase from unregistered person is ineligible to take credit. And sometime what they will do now, they will give you intrastate forward charge mechanism. But since they will also test you with blocked. They will also test you with ineligible. All these criteria will remain one and the same. You will be writing the explanation, and then you will be saying sorry it is blocked, it is not eligible, and you have to give 0000, no calculation. And similarly all these categories will come for interstate also. Interstate FCM, interstate goods on FCM will come, and same way they will test you on blocked, unregistered and all those stuffs. After writing all those stuffs, my dear brothers and sisters, you have to add up something called RCM paid in cash. That is also eligible credit. Sir, where I will carry forward, where I will get, sir, you will get the figure from the above calculation. So my dear brothers and sisters, this RCM paid in cash will also be added to arrive at something called eligible credit for the tax period. You will arrive at this eligible credit for the tax period, and after that only you have to work around. Everybody, are you with me comfortable? And this is how you are expected to do the working, and this is called as ITC available. ITC available for available. Leave the spelling, yeah. Look at the concept. Available for adjustment. This is working note number 3, my dear. And after that, you have to give an internal working. Tell me, my dear. First, okay, let's go ahead and close out the purchases. During the period, these guys are purchased for how much? Intrastate eligible, nothing is given, so we assume eligible 3 lakhs and 2.5 lakhs. Eligible they have given, yeah. So let's understand, intrastate FCM is 3 lakhs and interstate is 20. Is it 3 lakhs, my dear? Yeah, it's 3 lakh and 2.5 lakhs. It's 2.5 lakhs, and these are the credit updations. And now when I go there, my dear brothers and sisters, tell me I have to use which asset first. Order of adjusting asset. So we have to write order of adjustment. These workings only matters a lot for you. So order of adjustment, first priority should be given to IGST asset. Everybody, my dear, you are with me?
Yes, sir.
And you should give separate working note for this order of adjustment. How we are going to do that? That is working note number 4. Similarly, you have to write it for CGST, which is the second order of adjustment. For which, in which order you are adjusting, you have to give working note number, and that's a separate working note number 5. And then, my dear brothers and sisters, similarly you have to give working note number 6, which is covering for SGST asset, which is the third order of adjustment. And based on this order only you should give. And what is the amount I am supposed to take, sir? For IGST you have 185, and for CGST you have 84, and for SGST you have 87. Now the order of adjustment starts. ITC is to be fully adjusted first against IGST liability. Therefore, my dear, the entire liability gets adjusted over here. Right? Sir, do I have any excess carry forward? Yes, sir, I have excess carry forward. So, in this working note number 4, first priority is given to IGST. Second priority is excess. How much? Excess CGST, SGST is there. Yeah, I have to use it for the excess now. Tell me how much is the excess? 41,000 is excess, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, how to split this 41,000? In which manner I can do the 41,000?
Any proposal?
I can do it in any purpose, yeah, but the question asked for maximum adjustment. Yeah, so that the minimum cash outflow will be there. So, my dear brothers and sisters, please ensure SGST credit is short by 3,000, whereas SGST credit is short by CGST is short by 6,000. So, I should ensure the credit should be more adjustable towards which one? I can provide equally. Let me give you the proportionation here. No, let me give you the proportionation. See, let's understand. Let's open the bracket. This minus this whole divided by 2. Sir, what will happen if I adjust this way? What will happen if I adjust this way? what will happen if I adjust this way? What will happen? See, understand, balance is payable in cash, isn't it? And the question says minimum I should pay. So let's understand maximum, difference is payable in cash. This is my total liability, of which I'll reduce this. Of this I'll reduce this. Of course, CGST will not be allowed. So this is blocked forever. This is blocked forever. I cannot have CGST and SGST, interutilization. So I'm blocking these two places. Barring that, all other places I can utilize. So I will end up paying 69,500. So I can still pay 69,500 over here. The balance payable will be 0. Already IGST liability has been 0. Already IGST liability has been 0. So now I have to go for CGST, wherein the total tax payable will be this much. Because only after adjusting I have to come over here. So that means, my dear, 69,500 if I pay over here, that's absolutely fine. So nothing will be payable in cash. So that I can go ITC carry forward. ITC carry forward, I can go ahead to say the ITC carry forward in case of this is CGST is 84,000 minus 69,500. So that means 14,500 I am carrying excess. Similarly, when it comes to IGST, 87,000 minus 69,500. This is the carry forward figure, 17,500. Guys, are you comfortable? And this adjustment is based on everything. Here I adjusted only based on my perception and not for anything else. I can, for simplicity's sake, I am dividing it equally. My dear, you can pretty well do it in such a way, the excess entire 41,000 you can adjust over here, and here you can say it is 0. Here you can say 0. And that means what will happen, sir? This figure will change. Because it will be just 49,000. I will be paying just 49,000 here, and I will be adjusting. And what I will do here, instead of, because I have nothing or left over here, I can pay 87,000. See, if I do 87,000, what will happen? I'll end up paying 3,000 in cash. Even though I have ITC of 35,000 carry forward, I will end up paying 3,000 cash. Is it a desirable position? When you have an asset, will you want to pay tax? No. That means you have to optimize. That is why the law says you have to optimize in such a way. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. This is how overall problem works. This is the presentation of overall problem. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, let's have the look at your answer. This is the way it will present to the examiner. And this is how it should be. Can you see how beautifully it is organized in both ways? My dear, presentation plays a very important role. Majority, and I forgot to tell you, balance payable in cash is to be added by one more item. RCM paid in cash. This figure is to be added because we assumed it has been paid. Where is it, sir? Working note number 2. So this is to be paid in cash to arrive at the total liability payable in cash, if any, my dear. So I forgot to tell you this problem carry forward. I can't tell you like this. So balance, if any, this is ITC carry forward, and this will be the total cash liability. This will be the total cash liability or total GST to be paid in cash. This is to be the total GST payable in cash. It is an addition of this two. Basically, addition of this figure and this figure. It's an addition of this two. Sir, can I have ITC carry forward and still can I have GST payable in cash? Yes. In case of RCM, you will have that scenario. Guys, are you all comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Let me substitute the same sheet. So that you will have better control. See, this is overall testing problem. I am just moving a copy of this. I am creating a copy. I am putting it before day 1. I am putting it over here. So I have created another one. Let's go ahead and solve one problem. And this is Riddhi problem. Overall testing ender-Riddhi. I'll share this Excel sheet also with you, my dear. Focus more, okay? And one from the past examination question, probably I would say, yeah, I would take Sri Durga problem. I'll take Sri Durga problem. Oh, okay, doesn't have IGST component in it. Uh, uh, Maheshwari service provided. I'm trying to dig out the toughest of the lot. And basically this is a Himanshu Limited is only was given to you. That's exam question for you. See, there are so much of questions for you guys. You guys have to work on it. Okay, let me. Okay. Okay, guys, let us quickly go. I'll take the first problem just for the sake of quick completion of this discussion and to give you a complete insight into what we are doing. Okay, Mrs. Pradyumna Corporation Limited, registered dealer. It's a classic testing of overall problem. Look at this. He's a registered dealer in Mumbai, furnishing you the following information for the month. So I'm going to deal with Pradyumna Corporation, and my dear brothers and sisters, please substitute your headings properly, and have a clarity in what you're doing. Okay, so this is not Riddhi, this is Pradyumna Limited for the tax period so and so. Okay, so for the October 2017 they have given you the information, so it's October 2017, keeping that back of mind. Intra-state sale of taxable goods out of 50,000 was received as advance in September 2017. Look at this. They are testing you on time of supply also. Tell me, my dear brothers and sisters. For goods advance is received. Whether you would have taxed it in September. Let's change it 21, 22, or what's wrong? Keep it in 22. Tell me, my dear.
Yes, sir.
Whether you would have paid the tax on September for advance received, or you have raised an invoice in October, whether you have taxed it on October. What did you have done? For goods you have received an advance. My dear, time of supply notification number 66 very clearly says, for goods when you receive an advance, it is not subject to be taxed. It is subject to tax only when invoice is raised or ought to have been raised. Correct, my dear? So therefore, entire 2 lakh will be getting the time of supply liability only in the month of October. Therefore, this 2 lakh you can consider this. This 2 lakh you can consider this. So first, before I proceeding into this, I have to close this all. And opening balance also I should delete. Yeah. Now intra-state taxable goods being 2 lakhs. So what is the tax rate given here? 9%. So it quickly came. Goods purchased from the unregistered dealer 50,000. My dear, does it make any difference? Goods purchased from unregistered dealer, eligible or ineligible? Ineligible, yeah. So goods purchased from unregistered supplier 50,000, and straight away it is ineligible 000. We have put it in ITC column. Received for the service by way of labor contract. So I am providing a service, that is why I am receiving. So outward supply of labor contract for repairing a single residential unit other than as a part of a residential complex. Intra-state supply of services. Tell me, my dear, taxable or exempt? Service by way of labor contract for repairing a single residential unit. Taxable or exempt? Hello?
Exempt.
Okay, very good. My dear brothers and sisters, you are confusing between interlist number 10 and interlist number 11. You are confusing yourself between interest number 10 and 11. My dear, 10 is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana or Housing for All Urban Scheme. In that entry list, repairs and maintenance are eligible. Not only original works, even repairs and maintenance are eligible. Whereas entry list number 11, exemption chapter 6 category construction service, on which entry list number 11, when you take very clearly, it talks about original works rendered to residential units. Original works rendered to residential units. Whereas this is repairs and maintenance. Yeah, only if the pure labor contract is for the original works. That means fresh construction of a single residential unit, that is exempt. That means this that means this figure is not exempt, taxable. My dear brothers and sisters, can you quickly confirm? Everybody, come with me. Have a look at the ISM. See, even if it is final, it doesn't matter. Have clarity in your preparation. Works labor contract abdinale, it does not mean. Yeah, look at this. Look at this, my dear. Entry list construction service, entry list number 10 talks about under housing for all urban mission or Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. In this construction, erection, commission, installation, fitting out, repairs and maintenance, renovation, alteration of any other works or original works pertaining to the beneficiary led housing construction. Under this scheme, repairs and maintenance is allowed. But look at entry list number 11. Service by way of pure labor contract for construction, erection, commission, installation of original works pertaining to single residential unit. My dear, repairs and maintenance is covered in exemption. Repairs and maintenance of single residential unit covered in exemption.
No, sir.
No, therefore it is taxable. Therefore it is taxable. My dear brothers and sisters, please appreciate. Therefore 50,000 remains taxable. So I am going here. This time I have to say one more line item. Wait. Interstate supply of services. And this time it's only 50,000. Accordingly, it has got altered. Last one, professional fees paid to Uday located in a non-taxable territory. It is amounting to interstate transaction, 50,000. My dear, professional fees I should say, advocate fees or legal service fees. Tell me, my dear, legal service paid to Mr. Uday, interstate supply 50,000. What is this? Inward supply or outward supply? Fees paid. Inward or outward? Inward supply, on which tax is payable under? RCM, yeah. Legal services. So straight away I am going here. So RCM service la inward, interstate supply of services hyphen RCM transaction, amount is 50,000. Here is where beauty starts in. Look at this, my dear, how auto updations are happening. My total output tax liability is 22,500. It gets updated on total output tax liability. My RCM on inward liability is 9,000. It is getting updated from here. So my total liability for the period is 22,500 and 9,000. But this 9,000 I cannot pay it in cash. Therefore, the GST liability adjustable in ITC remains only 22,500. Of this, how much I have to adjust, sir? Sir, no other purchase details is given, sir. Question is over. No other purchase details is given. Question is over. That means I have only RCM liability eligibility. That is also from IGST. My dear brothers and sisters, I don't have any liability. I don't have any liability to be adjusted here. Please carefully have a look. IGST liability is 0. Therefore, 9,000 I am splitting equally for CGST and SGST. And since I have 0 here, it is 0 over here and 0 over here. My dear brothers and sisters, this is the balance payable in cash, and this is the RCM liability, and this is my total GST liability payable in cash. My dear brothers and sisters, this is one more demonstration of overall problem. My dear, second problem we took just 5 minutes to knock down. Can you see? Everybody, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
This is the way you are expected to present your examination answer. My dear brothers and sisters, lot of ICA past examination questions are available. Please solve from ICA sources. This is what my humble request is. With this, we are coming to the conclusion for this particular day's presentation. Any specific doubt you can ask me. My humble request is prepare sincerely. Trust your preparation. Don't rely on others' guesswork. Trust your inner instinct. Please, please, please give your best. And wishing you all success. Loving you all so much, my dear brothers and sisters. On the examination result day and examination day, I would like to get a SMS from you saying that, sir, we have done successfully. We have passed. We are now joining at the final level. That's the update we are actually I am expecting from you, all of you. Wishing you all success.